Hey, what's up, buddy? Everybody, excuse me. What's up, everybody? It's Rob. Can't talk today, apparently. Got special guest Matt Deseno from ZappyChat. Welcome, Matt.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Stoked to talk about this today.
Of course, man. So, literally asked you to spend some of your valuable time hopping on. We're down at the beach. I could be at the beach with my kids, listening to them fight over, whatever. But instead, we're here nerding out on something really cool, ZappyChat, because one of the questions that I'm getting, I'm not kidding, it feels like 50 times a day, is what chatbot tool, what chatbot resource, what chatbot stack are you recommending for fulfillment for all things lead nurturing, database reactivation, inbound SaaS hooks related, etc. So I brought you on so we could answer that for some folks. Is that cool? Is that a
Yeah,
cool topic to cover today?
I think this is going to be a great topic. And I'll say, I think we're like-minded in the sense of we feel pretty open-handed. And so this is my perspective here is ZappyChat versus whatever. And I'm just going to highlight some of the reasons why some folks are like, oh my gosh, this is what I want to use. And, there's folks on your team who are like, oh man, this checks the boxes of things just for success. And this is, all things time disclosed, like this is today, and so we'll just get into it. And so, that's the big question. The options, there's high level. They've been touting their own stuff there. There's ZappyChat, there's others. And if you just go out and like Google or ask the group, it basically resolves to something like this. I mean, I've seen the polls that are out there is there's like, it's like, oh, there's ZappyChat's good or whatever it is, but like high level, do they have their own native thing? Because I mean, it's crazy, but like that's the debate. It's like you could just have something native or there's something separate. So that's what I'm gonna pull out really the 5 things of why someone might use a ZappyChat. So the first one is the booking flow. So if you're doing appointments, if you go and run the tests on conversational AI right now, this is what it looks like. Can I book an appointment? And they send you a link. And Rob's like, wait, isn't that the automation that I used Scipio for like 7 years ago? So currently the appointment booking flow for high level and even some others looks exactly like this. And you're like, that's not what I want. This is what a ZappyChat booking flow looks like. It's truly conversational, right? It's looking at your calendar. It's offering real times. They can respond differently. They can say, do you anything in the afternoon, Monday or Tuesday? And it's going to offer afternoons on those days. It doesn't have to give the dates and stuff like that. And they say, great, let's do 2. They don't have to say 2 p.m. That like it's just, it actually understands and discerns. So it can do a conversational booking flow. And so if that's important, it might be worth looking at ZappyChat. The second thing,
it should be, everybody, spoiler alert, this should be your golden goose. Okay.
this is the way you want to do it. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Whether you're doing it with a human, even better when you get to do it with a bot, but this is kind of the flow that you want to have. And so right now you can do what most folks would envision as like a success path for actually getting appointments sets. The second piece, multiple bots. So with like a high level, you can do one per account. That's it. With ZappyChat, there's unlimited possibility here. So you could literally build out a different bot per contact, per niche, per offer. Like there's so much you could do in terms of a robust solution here. And so there's like a self-managed side of it where you can build out the bots here. And that could be, like I said, in a single account with a single client, you could have different things. So high level, even if I talk about like types of bots, they can do booking bot and that's it. We could do FAQ, support bots. You could have a bot that its objective is just qualification or just getting them set up for whatever it might be. And we'll talk about some other ways that we make those other things happen, but multiple bots, if that's a, valuable thing, ZappyChat could be a win. Third thing is the personality. So right now with high level, you don't get to decide any of this. You're like the directive is I book appointments and that's it. With ZappyChat, there's once again a lot of flexibility for the prompting. So we have like a prompt generator to help you with this, but you can determine the personality, the objective of the bot through a couple ways. It could be predefined in the bot setting there. You could do it per account. You could use like a custom value for the account, or you could even do it per contact. So you could have one personality, and we do this with our offers. We'll do almost like different people on the team. And so this person is the bot personality that's just trying to help people get signed up for a live event. This bot is the personality that's trying to help people get booked onto a call or a calendar. And so you can have that difference, that nuance in the personality Well, one, you can have it at all, but now you can do it in 3 different ways. And so a lot of flexibility there. And this is the kind of stuff that, Haplin geeks out on, is like, you can accomplish cool things.
Yes.
4th thing here, and this is for some folks is the biggest one, but we have goals. So ZappyChat allows you to create different types of goals conversationally. So if you wanted to say, did they, they gave us the square footage of their house that they're looking for, and it will log, it could either add a tag or it could update that value to the custom field, like to the contact. It can actually even do webhooks. So we all have stuff like, oh, it gave you the address, webhook out and send them a postcard. So you can you can kind of string together these automations where it runs on real AI. So even the goals are conversational. You don't have to you're not trying to be like, write it like a robot. You write it like a human being, and it just understands the objective of what you're trying to get it to do. And so that's a big one, especially like beyond, you don't have to do this for appointment booking, but like adding tags, or for folks that are doing qualifications where they start to say, they don't want to book an appointment if someone says, I want a 1-bedroom, 200 square foot, basement loft. I don't know how that exists, a basement and a loft, but whatever it might be, and so that was once again, you can update the contact like to the fields, you can add a tag, and you can even do webhooks.
So you can get as specific as you want with this tool. That's kind of what I'm hearing. Like,
yeah,
so
there's a lot of flexibility there. And so this is one of those, like, you might, if someone's listening, they're like, man, I don't want that, then maybe this isn't a right fit. Like that, like if you're, I'm trying to highlight, these are the reasons why I see people saying, yeah, like when they're doing their thinky face, and there's a lot of folks that are saying, oh my gosh, right now, ZappyChat is absolutely makes sense. And these are the kind of, things that happen to kind of go into that. Let's go. This is the last one. We're going to do some math.
Yes.
So,
love math.
Two little screenshots here. So this is, once again, right now, there's the latest update. This is last week for us. Right now, HighLevel's price is 5 cents per message. On ZappyChat, we run with just OpenAI. So there's no marginal cost for ZappyChat. You run OpenAI, that's your marginal cost. And for most folks, the nice thing is 3.5 is their model. They make it smarter and they make it cheaper. And so we'll do a quick little bit of math here. As they define it, 1,000 tokens is about 750 words, which means that's 0.0015 cents would be 750 words of like token usage in the model there. If I think of an average SMS, I'm just making it easy at 25 words. If you look back at the flow, 25 words is probably the longest sentence that was in there, because sometimes you're just saying like, sounds good, I'll take 2 p.m. So it's not always there, but I'll round it up. And then just for context, words on a page, about 500 words on a page. So briefly, as I'm like trying to benchmark this, if I'm sending things in this way, we basically have, and you're thinking like, what are the words? There's the actual conversation that's being passed. And then there's the context, the instruction. That might be the prompt that you're giving it. That could be the FAQ that's pulled. We run that efficiently. So your FAQs only pulls the relevant ones. It doesn't pull, like if you've got 1,000 FAQs, not pulling all 1,000, but regardless, just brief, like just easy math. I'm like, if I had 2.5 pages of history, that's 1,000 words. And then I got to text back and forth. There's 1,250 words, which comes out to be still 0.0025 cents. This is important because this is where, and we just see from a usage, that's a pretty average use case. That math is 20x or 1/20th of HighLevel's price.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're thinking about it in terms of like, oh, well, that could also mean like if you were going to use $20 of OpenAI usage, if you ran that on HighLevel, it would cost you $400.
Right.
And so this is the kind of thing that we're seeing is, and this is for some folks, the biggest reason is they're like, man, I dove into the conversation AI and I got a bill for $1,000. I'm like, oh, dang. And if you think about it, like, oh, if you were running on like just OpenAI yourself, that might be $50 of actual cost there. And so if you think like, I see people do this, that, the switch over because they did that with one account. Imagine trying to pass that off to your client. They're not going to be stoked about it. And that nickel and diming, doesn't usually succeed. So this is, like I said, probably one of the bigger ones for folks, but it's not obvious. That's why we're doing the math here, because with ZappyChat, you own the raw cost. And that's the other cool thing about it, is the only thing that's been consistent about OpenAI, the only thing, two things. It's gotten smarter and cheaper. It's literally, since its inception, it just keeps on getting smarter and cheaper. And so right now it's a 20x markup. I don't like in a month or so, that might be a 40x markup. So they've consistently done this, you know, they're making big market moves. They got the Microsoft money behind them. OpenAI is trying to totally just get as much user adoption as possible. And so they keep on doing that. They improve the model, they reduce the price. And so right now it's a 20x markup. Who knows what it could be in the future? And that's why, you know, I come to this is, Rob, you're saying it, the biggest question we get is, what if high level changes in the future?
Yeah.
What if they change? And here's my answer is like, cancel ZappyChat as soon as they have all that you need at a price that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like it's, you could sign up for a monthly thing and then just cancel it. Well, I'm not offended. I'm not like personally affronted by it, but if you are in this space and you're like, wow, this makes sense, I want to take advantage of it. Like, and if these things are compelling to you, it's a no-brainer, and just choose the monthly thing and tell yourself, as soon as it gets better, I'll switch. You don't,
well,
you know, ride or die.
Yeah, totally. And, you know, you and I have the same feeling about tools. I love your quote. You said something along the lines of, the best tool is the one that gets used, right? The best blank is the one that gets used.
Yep.
And so, you know, if believe it or not, I'm actually sort of tool agnostic. I just think high levels sort of irreplaceable for many, many reasons. That
Incredibly, yeah, it stays ahead and it fills up a ton of need.
Yeah. But, you know, I had no problems canceling ClickFunnels. I mean, I got a lot of use out of it, but I didn't stay up at night going, you know, I really wish that, you know, X, Y, and Z. It's like, no. So you guys, this is business. This is like, feelings are not involved, to your point. But the thing that I think is smart is for people to recognize, the more time that you sit here spending time micro-analyzing all the different scenarios, the more the opportunity cost gets replaced with inaction. And so, meaning you could spend a couple of months, let's say it comes out in 2 months, high level surpasses ZappyChat and cost, features, everything, right? And you decide to sit on your hands and just micro optimize or micro maximize your decision over here. It's not even an optimization step, right? Because if you were doing actual optimization, you'd just be signed up with ZappyChat already, right? But, you know, if you're sitting there for 2 months wasting time, basically, let's just call it that, instead of going out and selling this and helping people with it, then the opportunity cost of inaction is very, very high. You know, it's like the cost of toiling over this is, you know, it could be 6 figures, it could be 5 figures. It certainly should be in the 5 figures of opportunity zone, because 10 grand a month is easy to sell with AI. It just is, right? It's not that hard to go out there and do. So think of it that way, right? Like, hey, in freaking 60, Haplin's training on ZappyChat has it down to less than 60 minutes. So you're gonna have a bot up and running, fairly well trained, and, you know, ready to deploy, right? It's not perfect out of the box, but they never are. But, you know, you get in there and you start to optimize it further on days 2, 3, 4, 5. It's pretty freaking good. It's better than like 99% of the stuff out there on the market. So that's fast. That means you can go out and make money with it. That means you can make your clients money with it, right? So to me, that's what I think about when I hear this question. And I've always been like this, like, about tools. And I think people think I'm going to go on some dissertation about high level and how freaking great it is and all this stuff. And when I don't, it's a little bit, you know, surprising to them. But that's why. What I just explained is the reason why. It's like, dude, I want for you to get closer to what you want in your business. And I want for you to get your clients closer to what they want in their business. And if this is the thing that gets them there right now, then use it, right? My mentor, his name's Nick, has a decision-making matrix. And one of the lessons in it is he's got what he calls the investor frame. And the investor frame is, and I think this is like helpful. It's the only reason I'm sharing it in this context. But the investor matrix is if you, knowing everything that you know to date, right? Because that's all we can do. We can't forecast the future. We can try to think that we can, but it's, you know, rarely works out that we know what's going to happen, right? But if you're in something now that you wouldn't re-opt into, knowing everything that you know today, then you're violating your personal, professional, business ethics is basically what the investor frame is, right? In other words, if that decision, if having that thing isn't getting you closer to what you want and you're just holding on for some other reason, then, you know, you're violating the principle that you said you set out to do. So like a quick example is that is like most people start a business to get closer to what they want. But if they're sitting there toiling over this tool and, you know, not using a tool when that tool can help them get them closer to what they want, then they're basically in violation of their personal, professional business. You know, it's like those two things do not jive together, right? I started this to spend more time with my family and create enough financial security so that we could have a good, comfortable life, right? But I'm sitting here toiling over a tool because it saves me 5 cents potentially in some crazy ass future scenario that'll probably never happen, right? Like it sounds crazy when you say that, right? But
No, it's
I think
the
that's helpful in this scenario. Is like, dude, just pick up the tool. The worst case is it doesn't work and you get your money back. The worst case is you use it for 2 months, high level surpasses it, you quit with ZappyChat, sign up with high level, great, right? Like nothing bad is going to happen. Just pick a tool and go, right?
Yeah. No, exactly. And that's our feeling as well. And that's my feeling. It's like if it's either going to make sense or it's not. But right now, for these reasons, it seems like it does make sense. You did mention if people have been geeking out on this. So some of the things that we also do, like these are the main decision makers on the ZappyChat management side and what it looks like and how it engages. We do have this right here, this Cinnabon. This is how we sell ZappyChats to businesses. And it's sort of like a taste and see. So we don't want to dive into this, but in
the old try before you buy. I love it.
It's the try before you buy. And so if I let's pull up on that demo.
I so badly want for you to have a sub account called Cinnabon. That would be amazing.
I think Andrew might, but anywho, it's worth a take. It's worth a look at. So because inside of the bot, it has this ability where you can like scrape the URL. Basically what the Cinnabon does is it puts a front end form. So they don't have to come in, they don't have to log in, they don't have to access any bit of the ZappyChats, and you can let them test it externally. So it allows them to basically fill out a form that does the scraping process, pulls that in, creates their own bot, and then they can talk and engage with it. And so for a lot of folks where we want to geek out and, on the behind the scenes, tool side of it, most businesses are just like, what's the least amount of friction to just taste and see? And so that's why we put together the Cinnabon, the snapshot there, so that you can just like hand it off to the business. They fill out literally like 4 fields, name, email, phone, and like, what's your website? And it's enough to get them. I think actually maybe there's a 5th field. We let them like, give it a name. What name do you want to give your bot? And then it starts texting them, it starts chatting with them, and it knows any information off the website. So stuff like that is, if you are trying to.
Oh, it's amazing. I call it the magic trick. Like the faster you can throw the magic trick, the better, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I like the Cinnabon analogy too, but it's the same thing. It's like if you can show them instead of telling them, the quicker you can do that, the better. Like if they're holding it in their hand, going, "Whoa, cool! I believe you now because I'm seeing it with my own eyes." Like if you can do that quickly, holy cow!
Yep. Love it. Well, like as you said, if anybody has questions, Happin's done a whole training on it, so there's a lot of detail. And you'll for now, you look around, you ask folks. You'll kind of see. And that's what I'd say too. Talk to folks that are using it. They're the best because it's no fluff. They just tell you exactly as it is. These are kind of the core 5 things right now that kind of make it a no-brainer. And if you're looking to take advantage of it, why not?
Absolutely. Well, I just had to throw some decision-making, hopefully nuggets in there for people because it looks like pain and suffering to me to see people toiling over this seemingly small decision that has so much upside with such limited downside. So I just want to get on with you, and hopefully between what you said and what I said, somewhere in there, it helps somebody make a decision, right? That's the whole purpose of this video. So I appreciate you jumping on. We use ZappyChat, Haplin's newest training for those of you who are in our membership program. We just released it today. So today's October 3rd. I think it was October 2nd. And you can go and do what Matt just talked about. So get in there, do the training. I think it might take you 10 or 15 minutes to get it set up, and then you can begin doing what Matt just described. So get after it, y'all. Right? Thanks for coming, Matt. Doing another training with Andrew next week, and we'll dig into some of the details a little more of the tool and how you can extract more value from the tool. But I think this conceptually really helps people, and it'll help. So thank you.
Yeah, stoked to do it.
Appreciate it, man. I'll see you in October. Well, at the end of the month at the summit.
A couple weeks.
Awesome, man. Okay, cool. Well, worst case scenario, I'll see you then. But till then, man, take care.
Bye, man.
See you.